If you can hear us, we're having technical difficulties. Give us 1 second, please.
It may be a radio show today, guys.
It might be a radio show. Our executive producer will figure it out.
What was the commercial about anticipation? Was that a ketchup commercial?
Oh.
I think we're on.
Yeah.
Ketchup commercial?
Waiting for the ketchup.
Anticipation, right? Yeah, it was Heinz.
Yes.
Wasn't it Heinz that did that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well.
It's another exciting episode.
Boy, we were just talking about that, right? Every day, I think every day couldn't get any more exciting at River Landing than what the day was before, and and exciting is probably not the right word for it. It's been difficult times. Difficult times.
Yep.
So, Ken, nice to have you here again with us. We appreciate that.
Good to be here. Have you told Lisa about last week?
I told her that, we got booed off the stage because she wasn't here, and that...
And I did hear you used one of the words I said never to use.
Well, and this was the problem, Lisa. You told me to come up with a top 10 list of words we cannot use on River Churns, which I did.
Yes.
Then I realized I couldn't say them.
Except for one. Yes.
I heard you said one. Yeah.
That word which shall not be said.
That's
is
right.
how I'm going to refer to it from now on.
We won't.
Apparently, I could never leave again. So.
No, you're good till next Christmas.
Well, you were sorely missed, that's for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ken and I did our best to try and carry you on, didn't we, Ken?
We did.
Yeah.
I know you did.
We started out with a lot of followers, I think, for the show, and then by the end of the show, I think we were down to just 2 that were left, right? So.
You and me.
Well, no, I think Michelle was here too. She got stuck with having to be here, remember? So
Yeah, she can't escape it.
She can't.
She'd like to, but she can't.
Well, thank you for being our rudder. Yes. The rudder is the thing that keeps you going
it's the
in
one
the right
that,
direction.
yes, exactly. I got it.
Thank you.
Ken. I think Tom thought you said something else. I
I wasn't sure what he was talking about.
Oh, I forgot rudder was one of the words on the list.
But it was positive. I know it was. So.
All right. Well, let's get started today. So, trivia.
Trivia. And we still have this wonderful holiday popcorn. So we're doing 2 of them today.
Two.
So we can get rid of this holiday popcorn.
2 bucks a one.
Butter toffee.
And?
Gingerbread.
And they're both amazing.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Amazing.
Sure they are. Sure they are.
So 2 of them today.
Two.
And I'm not sure what you all did last week, but I think we should do like a certain number caller again.
Yeah, we did 2020.
Yeah, we tried to do 2020 last time.
Oh my gosh!
But
Did
and then I
Michelle
said
almost
maybe
kill
even
you?
20 just to cut it, down a little bit. Our executive producer wasn't really. She was
No,
giving
I
me
bet
a
not.
bad signal there, so I
bet.
was.
So we probably shouldn't say 21 then.
No, we cut it back
Okay.
a lot.
Okay.
So what number do you, Lisa? This is your first show back. We
Okay.
thought you'd like to pick the number this time.
Let's go with 5 again.
5.
Yeah,
okay.
we did that the first time.
Caller
I think.
5,
So,
because this is
caller
a
number
pretty
5.
easy question.
This is a
right?
very easy one.
Yeah.
But you can't look it up anywhere.
Oh,
It's
that's
not.
true.
You can't go to the internet for this one because it's specific to River Landing.
But didn't we put this information out?
We
already?
did.
Okay. All right.
So, but you can't go to Google on this one.
No, you can't.
But you could go to CareMerge.
Right.
Probably.
Anyway.
Okay. It's specific to River Landing. Okay.
You either know it or you don't know it, probably.
You're going to call Michelle, 336-389-4103, and the question is, and you have to be the 5th caller, so keep calling until we say stop. No voicemails either. Do not leave a message. Just keep calling. It's like the old radio show games. Okay, keep calling. Question. What is the name of the vaccine we are receiving here at River Landing? Go. The line is open.
Yeah.
That's other than COVID.
What is the name of the vaccine?
Manufacturer. Who's the
manufacturer?
Yes.
We are receiving at River Landing.
Okay.
Nobody read our
Oh,
communication,
no,
Tom.
there she goes. There she goes.
Well, there's one.
There's
She's gonna
one.
have the first one.
Keep calling. There's still room for you. Keep calling.
We just heard her say, "This is Michelle. You're caller number 1."
Oh, I love it.
All
Okay,
right.
keep calling.
So let's get into the coronavirus update.
Yes.
So don't know how many of you have been watching the news and watching what's going on. Governor was on today. But let me start with the statistics, which are not good for North Carolina. Again, we pulled this information from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. This week, as compared to last week, over the last 8 days, because it's been actually 8 days since the report that we did last week, done 391,645 tests. That's about an average of about 49,000 a day. Out of those 391,645 tests that are done, 58,069 positives. That is 14.8% over the last week. That's really getting high. Unfortunately, we also have seen some huge increases in both deaths and in hospitalizations. We've had, unfortunately, another 502 deaths related to COVID since last week. And there are an additional 516 people in the hospital. So 3,893 currently hospitalized. And we're hearing that the hospitals are filling up pretty rapidly right now and feeling the strain. I know the governor talked about that a little bit today too. So
I heard them say that Cone would be have no beds available by the 21st of this month if the trajectory
things keep
continues.
going. Yeah, so it's getting rough out there. When we look at the cases per 100,000, for all of you that were watching last week, you noticed that the cases per 100,000 for the last 14 days last week had dropped from the week before, which I thought was a positive thing, but not surprising, they have gone back up this week. For everybody but Forsyth County. Forsyth County did not go up this week, but they were high last week, so maybe that's part of the reason why. But everybody went up a significant amount this week, the different counties. I look at 5 different counties: Forsyth, Guilford, Durham, Wake, and Mecklenburg. And that's where our major metropolitan areas are, so that's why I kind of look at those, and those are the ones that usually have the most cases. Let's see. Also, from nursing home standpoint, of the 582,348 positive cases since the beginning of March, 35,097 have been from nursing homes and retirement communities. That's 6%. So, again, that percentage is dropping because it's not now just a nursing home problem.
Right.
I mean, it's everywhere. And then as far as deaths in nursing homes and residential care facilities, it's still continuing to go up, 3,288. But when you look at that as compared to 7,076 deaths in the state, that's 46.5%. And so we're seeing that drop as well. And again, that's just because it's hitting more outside of our area now. So, and then the other thing that I knew was going to keep happening, but it just continues to go. The number of nursing homes and residential care facilities that are in outbreak mode is 597 today, and that's 48 more than what it was last week. So it's gone up 30 to 50 every week for the last several weeks. And honestly, I know that. I think you all know I have a weekly COVID call with our other sister communities and our corporate folks. And, we're not the only ones that are going through this. All of our communities are in outbreak mode right now. They're all having issues with residents getting it. You all know this. I sent out a notice last night about the latest testing results. And really, you're going to see letters now twice a week because we're testing twice a week. So the first part of this week, Monday and Tuesday, we've got the testing back from all that. And unfortunately, we had 4 more residents in Muirfield that had tested positive. Our team over in the healthcare center had expected that this group might actually get it and just didn't test positive last week, but tested positive this week, 4 more residents. We had another resident in Wingfoot. Actually, we had one resident that was left in Wingfoot that hadn't tested positive last week. That person is positive this week, and again, not necessarily a real surprise there. And then we have one other staff member, and that was the blessing, was that I don't want to have anybody, but the numbers are fairly low compared to what they've been running, and our staff, we've only had one staff member in the last week so far, and so that's really good. all of our skilled nursing staff members all were negative this week, the first test for this week. So really happy about that. But it's a problem. You know, just to give you a little bit of a flavor, Scotia, who had really been having some issues with the positivity rate at their community, went for about 2 weeks without having any real. They thought maybe they had gotten through that and gotten the rest of it. Now they're back in outbreak mode again, and so residents and staff down there. And then also Scotia has had some independent living residents that have been getting it down there as well. And unfortunately, they've had a couple residents in independent living who have passed from getting COVID. And then Glen Eyre, no IL residents, but they've had an outbreak too. They've got some staff and a resident in their skilled nursing unit that have got it. And the Friends Homes communities are still dealing with outbreaks on both sides as well, independent living. And so, you know, we've been, I think, somewhat fortunate here and blessed. I keep saying this, and we've been blessed that our independent living has not been as bad as it could be. You know, and I don't know other way to say this, Ken, other than I think it's a God thing, and I really believe this. You know, out of all the communities, we are the ones that are probably we have more residents than anybody else in independent living. We are more open here in our community than any of the other communities. You know, we're the only ones that are still allowing residents to eat in dining rooms at this point. And, you know, we're not getting the cases in independent living. And I attribute that to the residents here, to be honest with you. You know, they're being very smart and very selective about how they're doing things. And a big tribute to all of you for taking the advice of trying to really be low-key for Christmas this year. And, you know, I'm hoping still, we're not quite past the holiday rush yet at this point as far as the potential for this, but I'm really kind of hoping, and I'm going to knock on wood here, that maybe we skirted this from the independent living side. And, you know, maybe the fact that we're having our vaccine clinic coming up next week is helping folks to kind of say, I'm not going to mess this up before we have the clinic, right? So, and we'll get into that a little bit more because we got a bunch on the vaccine clinic that we want to talk about. But it's rough out there. It's rough. And you know, we heard a little bit from the governor today, and
Dr. Cohen, just assume it's all around you.
Yeah.
So it just to be aware of that, and you know, the big thing is just following the 3 W's, and we just really have to hit it hard, even more so now.
Yeah.
Just because it's out there, and also the identification of the more contagious virus that's out there too.
Yeah, we're starting.
So that
to hear,
just adds to it that
we're starting to hear
another
that
strain
that's
of it
making its way around the country, and
right.
would not be surprised if it's already in our area and we just
Right,
don't even know
right.
it at this point.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
So yeah, it's a time to. Honestly, I think it's a time to be praying for our country and praying for our world, and you know, doing our best to try and keep yourself safe and keeping the rest of this community safe as possible. So, you know, we're all in this together. So we just got to keep going at it and keep praying that our good Lord blesses us with. And I didn't mention this, but out of the residents that are positive this week, only one has some minor symptoms. They're all asymptomatic. Even the staff member is asymptomatic at this point. So. So we're battling that a little bit too, Lisa. You know, we've got a lot of staff members that have, because of the testing or because of situations that are happening around their homes,
Right.
we've quarantined them out of the community at this point. And so, you know, we're still fine, but
But that affects us.
But it affects us.
It impacts
you know,
us.
I mean, every staff member that we can't allow to work for 2 weeks has an impact on us, and so. You know, we're fortunate that we have a lot of staff here and we can cover things, but it makes it a little harder. So, you know, please, residents, please bear that in mind. If things don't happen quite fast enough for you, you know, it could be a little bit of just some of the impact of the fact that you know, we're going through this right now. So, Okay, Lisa, where do we want to go from here? We want to talk about the governors?
Yeah, just a few more things. The governor spoke today. Just like Tom said, we've had the highest positive rates since the pandemic began.
Yeah.
So it's that. 96% of our counties in North Carolina are orange and red. The state is mostly red at this point, so means significant transmission.
You can't go anywhere and not have it.
Right. That's what they're saying. It's not.
You're not going to be
There's
able
not like a safer spot to
You can't go to the beach and find that it's less down there.
It's not any different.
It's not any different down there.
Exactly. Dr. Cohen did the secretarial directive today. So that's not a governor's order. I just want to clarify that.
Right.
But it's an advisory message. So what it means is stay home, only leave for essential activities, which is school, work, doctor appointments, and other essential appointments. Groceries, of course, things that are essential but otherwise limit your outside interaction. Do not gather with people that don't live with you. Avoid going to other people's homes, especially outside of here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's more exposure that you have. So it's really just trying to limit your exposure. That's what it gets down to. But that is a secretarial directive that was made today. Recommend using delivery and mailing services. I know a lot of you are already doing that because our package deliveries here have gone up 100%.
Oh my gosh, they sure are.
So that's great.
I understand why Jeff Bezos has made $3 billion since March. I mean, just in boxes.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, no
sure.
kidding. No kidding.
Absolutely. So we actually love to see that. But we've seen the increase in that. But that's great. Keep doing those kind of things. Anything to limit your exposure to the outside world. And I think we better say now, Michelle does have a winner, so stop calling.
Oh, do you have a winner, Michelle? Okay, all right.
She's been running in and out. Yep, so it's okay to stop calling her now. She does have a winner. Let's see. Vaccine supplies are limited, which we all know. They're coming in waves. Most doctors' offices, of course, you can't get your vaccines there. So as a country working on getting more vaccines readily available, they said it will take months, to get the whole country, of course.
Yeah.
The highly contagious strain identified in the U.S., of course, that just adds more to it here. Following precautions, need that more than ever right now. The governor did extend his order of the stay at home from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So that's a 3-week extension on that order. Hospitals are canceling elective surgery, so don't be surprised if you have an elective surgery. Right now, they're trying to save those beds, obviously. Right. Hospitals are feeling the strain. Really pushing the people to take vaccines if you have a vaccine available to you. Educating on the safety of vaccines. We all know some folks are fearful of vaccines.
Right.
So just doing, a statewide campaign on education. National Guard has been mobilized to get vaccines out to the different counties and the public health departments.
That's a good move,
I
think.
Yep. And also as a state addressing cultural fears and mistrust. That concern is throughout the country, actually. Yeah. Different populations, folks of color may have some different concerns that other folks don't.
That's
so
right.
Things like that, trying to address with that education.
Right.
So I think those are all good steps.
Yeah, they are.
So it was really a pretty good update today from the governor in the way of
and I don't think people
information.
realize how big a deal the cultural thing is. It's bigger than I think what we think it is.
Absolutely.
And so, I think it's something that I'm hearing about that's happening not just in nursing homes across the area here, but across the country and hospitals and just people in general. People of color are having real issues with the concerns about the vaccinations, and so. So, we need to be understanding of that and just try and help educate.
Let's see. Okay, moving on from the governor.
Yeah, so let's kind of move away, hopefully, from the sombering news and get into
let's focus on some
hopefully
positive.
something that's going to be a little bit more exciting for all of us, because, we, even after all this, that we're talking about, we have that light at the end of the tunnel for us.
We do.
At least
next week.
At least what we hope is going to be the light at the end of the tunnel for us.
It's the beginning of the light.
It's the beginning of the light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely.
Coming here next week, right?
Yep. Vaccine clinic. So exciting news in your mailboxes. So everybody, please check out your in-house mailbox. The schedule is out for the vaccines next week. And it's broken down into days and times that CVS will be here. And it's based on where you live. So from, let's just say an example, from 1 to 2 might be Hayshort and Niblick Court. That might be an example. So you would come between that time period. So if yours is from 1 to 2, you can come anywhere between that time period. What I do worry about, Tom, everybody's going to come at 1 o'clock for that group. And keep in mind, there's about 60 residents scheduled for the same block.
Right.
Okay? So you do not have to come right at the hour of your time period that you're assigned to. So just keep that in mind. I do worry that everybody's going to come at once.
Yeah.
Spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, so during that whole hour,
Right.
what you're saying is,
Yes.
we're afraid that if it says 10 to 11, that
Right.
everybody's going to show up at 10 o'clock. Well, I will tell you, if you all show up at 10 o'clock, you're going to be waiting.
You're going to be waiting in line.
And if that's okay with you, come on.
Right.
But, if you can wait if you're scheduled between 10 and 11 and you want to come at 10:30 instead,
Sure.
maybe the line will have come
Sure.
down a little bit by then if we could
Absolutely.
spread it out a little bit.
10:45 even.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, we don't want everyone coming at 10:45 either.
Yeah,
No,
so
we don't.
Those of you that are flexible, come, and then you can go walk around a little
Well,
bit and
true.
come back.
That is true,
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
that's a good way of
Absolutely.
handling it, sure.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out, Tom, we're not going to have chairs in the line.
Yes, we're not.
And the reason is, I know you're going to say, oh my gosh, I need a chair. We don't want everybody touching the arms of it. We can't, there's no way we could sanitize after 60 chairs that are lined up in a line.
Right.
We just know that we couldn't do that. So to avoid any extra touching of things, we are not going to have chairs in the line. We'll have X's marked on the floor so you'll know where to stand, just like we do now in our dining venue, so you know the distance. But just want to point that out. So if you have a walker that has a seat on it, we have a lot of folks that have those, make sure you use that day. You can turn around and then you can have a seat on it.
Yeah.
Of course, if someone's having an emergency and they need a chair, we're going to grab a chair. But
Right.
we can't do that for that line down there. Just we're trying to avoid the touch.
Yeah, I mean, this has the potential because it's a larger grouping than what we really want to have.
Exactly.
We have to take extra precautions.
do,
And putting
we do.
chairs out is a big no-no.
Yep,
So we
yep.
don't want to do that.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
so please be prepared for that,
Yep,
like Lisa
yep,
said.
yep.
So
And bring your walker with a seat if you really need to sit down.
that's right.
So
Yeah. And we'll do our best. We don't know exactly what this is going to look and feel like yet either.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I'm hearing a little bit from some of the other communities that are having this right now, and it's setup is important here as to how fast and how well this goes. And we're going to do our best to try and streamline this with CVS so that they can really concentrate as much as they can on just giving vaccinations.
Yep.
If we can avoid them having to do some of the other tasks that are involved, we can get more of them actually given vaccinations, then
Absolutely.
we can push people through
people
faster
moving through
then.
quick.
So we'll do our best to try and support that. But we're hearing that by the time you get up to the registration table, which would be right before you get your vaccination, it could be as much as a 10-minute process for each resident. And we're going to try and make that as quick as we can. And again, if we can take over, if they'll let us take over some of those responsibilities,
Right.
we'll do that so that we can really kind of free them up to kind of just keep working on giving vaccinations.
Sure.
So we'll see what we can do to try
Yep.
and help that
Yep.
out.
Any exceptions? If you look at your schedule and you're like, I already have a doctor appointment that's scheduled during your time slot, call me. I'm the contact for that. We're trying to keep it where there's one person managing exceptions. So please call me. I've had a few people today call other multiple staff members. Please call me. And then that way, one of us is coordinating that schedule. So we
right.
don't get too many hands in the pot.
Right.
So, also, any changes that might come between now and vaccine clinic time.
Yeah.
Watch Channel 1390 and Care Merge. That's
Well,
going to be your biggest.
And Lisa, why do we say this? Isn't this all set up? Well, the answer is yes, it's set up. But we're smart enough to know that there always could be last-minute changes with
Absolutely.
this.
Yep.
And We have our final call with CVS coming up on Friday, and so there could be some tweaks that we don't know about yet that could happen. So please understand, we're working with the best possible information and most current information. When we set up that schedule, that's how we did it. And we're going to do our best not to vary from that. But, you know, we will, there may be something that's unavoidable that we have to change. And I'm hoping that won't be the case, but we just want to make sure that people understand that, you know, we are doing our best to try and make sure that we can keep the schedule we set up at this point.
Yeah, they may decide they want to ask Tom and I to give injections, for instance.
Oh, well, then you don't go really fast.
Well,
And then we would want
They might.
we would want to be able to give a warning about that. I mean, information about that.
That's true.
You know, I think some of our residents are desperate enough for the vaccine, they'd probably let us do it.
Probably would.
No, you don't want us doing it. I promise you don't want us doing that, so.
Okay.
So, we weren't going to talk a little bit. Do we think we need to talk about it?
I think we did under the governor.
Okay. Maybe just a little bit more.
Okay.
So, from what, you know, you all have been great about helping us out with getting forms back. I want to tell you, we are going to be, I think we're really well prepared for CVS. You all coming in here into this very room and handing in your consent forms and giving us your insurance cards. We think we're really going to be well set up for the actual clinic. So that's really good. I just wanted to share with you that we have on our list at the moment about 885 folks that have said yes to the vaccine at this point. And so I'm really happy about that, but that's a lot of people to have to push through a 3-day clinic. So we're going to do our best to try and, you know, when you're getting in line, and this is another thing, Lisa, we didn't mention this, but I think we mentioned it on the sheet. Please come at your assigned times. If you haven't talked to Lisa about exceptions, do not come at another time. We may not let you in, quite honestly, because we can't have that flexibility to just kind of throw people in. So we'll just have to see how this kind of plays out, but I want to make sure you know that. The other thing is, it looks like 98% of our residents are getting the vaccine, which is fantastic. We're working on the staff. We know we've got some folks that can't get it. We've got folks that are under 18 that can't get it. We have folks that are either pregnant or looking to be pregnant, or their doctors have told them they can't get the vaccine because of something that they might be going on with them. So we know we've got a group of people like that as well. So we're continuing working on the staff. We've got a lot of people that are afraid to get the vaccine. So I'm not as concerned about the percentage for the first shot, because I really do think that some of the folks that are nervous about this, and maybe even from a cultural standpoint, this might be of help to us as well. When they see everybody going through the first one and they see that there aren't any really adverse reactions or side effects or allergic reactions, and they feel more confident about it, I really think that for that second one that we do, that should probably be in February. We don't have the dates yet for that, but we should be getting that Friday as well. Once we have those dates. But I really think that we'll see a lot of the staff and maybe even a couple of the residents that chose not to at the beginning. They may come back, and I really think that we're going to keep working on for them to come back and get that first shot on the second go-round. So I'm really confident that we're going to get our staff percentages up. And you may or may not have been watching what's going on in the world, but the experience we're having here with our staff is not any different than what's going on in other nursing homes and in hospitals around the community right now. I think part of it also is because we are first in line, and a lot of people think they really just want to wait out one before they decide to go through with this, make sure that they're playing it safe. So I think it's going to happen, and we're going to get that percentage up as high as we possibly can. So. And I've been really pleased. The independent living staff percentage has really been really good. So I really, it's been neat. Some of our 17-year-olds have been coming up to us saying, "I want to get the vaccine. I want to get the vaccine. I can get my parent to sign off on it. Can I do that?" I was like, "No. Is it it's pretty strict. It's
Yeah.
18 and over right now, and we're gonna stick with that at this point. So there's a lot of staff members that are very excited. Oh, I want to point this out too. So you may think this is kind of funky, and you may not, but I'm going to say this. I think we're going to have an opportunity during the vaccinations, if you'd like, there's some people that might like this. If you'd like to have a photo of you while you're getting your vaccine, maybe after you're yelling and screaming, I don't know. Some of you might, I don't think the shot hurts all that much, but some people take shots better than other ones.
Yep.
But, either before or after you get the shot, if you'd like to get a shot of yourself, we're going to try and have somebody that's going to be available that can take a picture for you. And I know, and part of the reason this came up is because one of our sister communities did it, and I thought it was kind of neat that we saw some of the staff and residents in pictures getting it.
Right.
But I also thought it was kind of cool. I'd like to get it. I'd like to share it with my brothers and sisters and say, hey, guess what your brother did today, or guess what your father did today. And I just thought it might be cool for some residents who might want to have that. So we're going to try and have that capability available, somebody that can take a picture for you if you would like
And
that.
then we can email it to you, and then you could send
you
it
can
out
do whatever
to
you want with
whoever.
it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Or we could have everyone go over to the new bar and get another shot. And a complimentary shot glass. I got my shot.
now that's a cool idea. Where were you like 3 weeks
I
ago
was
when we
gonna
were
say,
talking about what we could
Now
do,
that
right?
would have required
Come
some
on,
planning.
Ken. That is kind of cute. I kind of like
It's
that.
never too late to get that shot, and you don't have to get CVS to show up.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So I think that's it as far as the
Yeah.
vaccine clinic. Oh, and maybe just to say, if you haven't read it in the instructions already, we decided on a route. So everybody's going to start over at our
Water's Edge.
Water's Edge. I always forget the name of it.
Yep.
Water's Edge. Instead of starting in the multipurpose room, we're going to finish in the multipurpose
Right,
room.
right.
And so we're going to start in the Water's Edge, and we're going to kind of weave, just so you all got a picture of this in your mind, we're going to weave you around in the inside of the Water's Edge and take you over towards the double doors where the Wayfarer is. And then you'll go through, and we're going to have checkpoints along the way. The first one might be just to take your temp or to check you off on the list. The next one might be we're going to give you your forms and a copy of your insurance card and the screening form.
Another screening form.
And, we're going to give you that right before you walk into the Wayfarer. And then that way you have that, and it's at the last minute that you get that. And when you get into the Wayfarer, you're down to about 8 or 9 people then at that point that are in front of you. And then you're going to just kind of go right on up to the registration table as you get to the Wayfarer. And in the Wayfarer, we're going to have at least 3 areas that we'll be able to do vaccinations from. So, again, a little bit of that is still iffy because we don't know exactly how many of the pharmacists are coming at this point. So we keep hearing different numbers. And so we'll know that when we know it. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. So, but I just wanted to give people a mental picture of that. And then once you've had your vaccination, then you're actually going to come over here into the multipurpose room. And there's a 15-minute, I think, waiting period where they just want to make sure that you're okay, that you're not having any kind of allergic reaction to the vaccination. And then there'll be a couple, probably our staff in here monitoring that and letting you know when you can get up and leave at that point or asking you if you're okay. And we're going to have some treats and some snacks and stuff like that in here for you. And that might even be a good time if you want to get your picture then. You can get your picture then instead if you don't want to get it over there. However, but, this is a great day. This is going to be a great thing next week.
Right.
So
And we'll have a sticker.
we have a
We'll
sticker
give you a
we're going to
sticker
give you.
that you got your vaccine.
Yeah. And
that
a
good stuff.
choice of stickers, right?
Yes, there's 3 different
Three different kinds of stickers. So you get one this time, and on the second one, you get a different one if you
That's
want.
right. That's
so
right.
it's very exciting, I think.
It's
So
kind of like a vaccine party.
yeah, I guess.
Oh,
Okay, enough about the vaccine, Lisa.
okay. I'm going to skip the next one and go and keep that for last.
Okay.
Lights are being fixed by the fountain. So the fountain by hole number 5. We've had a couple people call in and say the lights are out or they're not working right.
Yeah.
We're aware of it. Scooter's in the process of getting those fixed. It was a little more repair than he thought. So just hold tight with that. We are working on getting those repaired. Friday, there may possibly be some inclement weather. It's January.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we need to be prepared for it.
It could happen. The weather station, I think, has gone from, initially it was an inch, then it was 1 to 3, then it was 3 to 5. Now it's back down to an inch.
Yeah,
By now it might be 1 to 3. We don't know.
it may be all rain on Friday
It
for all
might
we
be.
know. By the time it actually gets here, I guess that's kind of the fun and anticipation of it.
We
But
don't know, but we have a lot of new folks, Tom, since that we've had any kind of weather.
Yeah.
So just to explain what we do here, if we do any changes or we have messages that we want to get out to you all, we'll use our phone tree. That's one of the ways where we have all of your numbers in a system and we shoot out a message to you. You'd get that on your phones. We also use Care Merge and, of course, 1390. So just to be aware of that, that's how we get out messages.
yeah, and most of the time our messages are usually related to whether or not we're going to have dining rooms open or
Absolutely.
different things, or if we're going to be doing box
Or
lunches.
stay off the sidewalks.
Yeah,
or
that's another
stuff
one.
like that.
Yeah, please, if we get snow on the sidewalks and driveways, and
Right.
please be careful.
Yeah,
And
just
if you
stay
can
home that
avoid,
day.
if you can
Yep.
avoid not coming out,
Right.
give our staff a chance to try and get that stuff cleared off.
Absolutely.
And remember, we are 222 acres here. About 150 of that is clearable at this point. So it's
Right.
a lot
It
of work
takes us
to
a
get
little bit
our
of time.
sidewalks and things
Yep.
cleared off. So.
Yep.
But we're hoping, Lisa, that even if we get snow, that it doesn't lay on the sidewalks or the roads.
The perfect
right.
snow. It sticks
Yes.
on plants
Trees
and
and
grass
trees and
and
grass,
doesn't
yeah.
stick on any hard
Oh,
surface.
that's a perfect snow.
Amen.
You're right.
We had that last year. I was very happy about
Gosh,
that. And it lasted 2 hours and it was gone. It was perfect.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yep, perfect.
I'm sorry for those that like snow. Snow causes us problems, so we don't like snow all that much, to
It
be
does.
honest with you.
Oh.
Okay.
Also on Friday, especially for new folks that haven't been here when we've done this, we have an annual resident association meeting every January. This year, because obviously we can't come together in the multipurpose room, it's going to be broadcast on 1390 at 10:30 on Friday.
Yeah.
The resident council, it's really their meeting that they have with you all.
It's their show.
Yep. They share, it's kind of like a year in review. So they're going to review 2020, the different things that have happened, what the council's been involved with, all those kind of things. So it's really, it's a great thing to be part of. Also, the resident council will present their slate for the new members for the next council that comes up. We always have 4 folks that rotate off. So that will also be part of the meeting. So just want to make sure to point that out to everybody. That's a good thing to be part of.
Is that at 3 o'clock?
No, that is 10:30.
10:30 on that.
Yep,
Yeah.
10:30.
And that'll be live here on
It
the
will.
stage.
Yep, most of
Yeah.
it will be live.
Yeah. Most of yeah. we do have one part that
We might have
the
a
person
cameo
can't be
from
here,
somebody.
right? Yeah. So we might have a videotaped something from one of the
Yeah.
people. So.
But I think that's an important thing for you as a resident would definitely want to see that, I think. The resident council does a lot of great things, and this is a good way
Yeah,
to
and
highlight.
Dan Phillips has done a great job as
He
being the
has.
resident council
Yep.
chair this year, and this has been.
Absolutely.
Him and I were talking yesterday. It's been a really rough year.
It has.
From a lot of perspectives because of COVID, but for council and for administration and really all concerned, it's been a very, very hard year.
Yeah.
So Dan's done a really good job, I think, and the council has done a really good
Council's
job.
been a great advisory to all of us.
Super. Yeah, they've been
yeah,
fantastic.
Absolutely.
We're finally getting to the questions. Ken's like,
Well,
are you guys gonna allow me any time here?
well, we have one more thing I wanted to talk about, Tom.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
We kind of had an unfortunate
Yeah.
incident last night.
Yeah, we did have a resident that unfortunately passed away
Right.
in the pool area last night.
Right,
And,
right.
that was, it was tragic.
It was.
It was just
It
really
was.
heart wrenching.
Yeah.
And,
And a
you and
lot of-
I were, unfortunately, we were there with
Right.
the response team. And, you all should be proud of our response team. They got in there and they did their best to try and help bring that resident back.
Right.
I was very impressed with our team, and but it was a tragic situation,
Yep,
unfortunately.
it was.
And,
It was.
but it was also good to know. And I'm going to point out one name, and that is Joe Lewis. Jumped into the pool to help out, fully clothed, because he came to help.
Yep.
It's pretty big deal.
Yep.
So yes, it was tragic, and unfortunately, we're going to keep the pool closed at this point.
Right.
For a little while until we do the things we need to do to make sure that the pool is ready for the next swimmers to come in.
right.
So, and, you know, we encourage people to use the pool. Buddy system, take somebody with you. Please have somebody in the pool with you. You're swimming at your own risk, but please have somebody swimming in the pool with you. It's very important.
Right. And this person does have a spouse, so that's why just please just keep in your prayers the
Thoughts and
folks that were
prayers.
involved
Yeah.
yesterday, and I know that's going to be a very difficult time.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and several residents
Yeah,
were,
if you can
were
support
part
her,
of this process.
they
so,
were.
Yep.
Yeah, and another resident that was with her helped kind of get the
Absolutely.
call out there so
Yep.
that people
Yep.
knew that there was an emergency going on. So,
Yep, absolutely.
yeah,
Okay.
that was a hard one last night. I have to admit, that was really hard last
Yes,
night.
it was. Yep.
Okay, Lisa, let's get to the questions.
Questions. Okay. The first one is non-COVID related, and I think it's our only one. That
Okay.
is not COVID related. When will the elevator be fixed in the Pinehurst wing of the main building?
We've been asking the same question, haven't we?
We have to.
Is that an
it's been a
elevator that's
while.
not going all the way to the top? I've heard about
That's
those.
for sure.
Yeah. Not going all the way to the bottom either, so.
It is not. It's not going anywhere right now.
No, it's not.
I think our whole campus has known that was related to the fire situation that we had here.
Right.
And it basically took out that elevator. So the elevator people now have finally figured out everything that needs to be done to it. They've shared everything now with us, what needs to be done with it. So now they're going to start fixing it.
Yeah.
So just know that that now is in the process. It took a while because just to figure out what really got
Well,
broken during the whole process.
Yeah, there was
was
a
a
lot
big-
of fried parts.
There was.
And
It's
so
a big repair.
it was a lot of analysis and investigation to figure out what really needed to be fixed and
Yep.
repaired. So we think we've got that now. So
Because
we can-
obviously you have to be careful with elevators. People
Right.
are going up and down in them. So I mean,
Right.
it just takes time to investigate everything that needs to be fixed on it. So we
Yeah.
just know
I prefer
it's
my fried parts in the bistro,
yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I do too.
not my elevators.
not your
Yeah.
elevator, that's for sure. Okay. Would you consider putting dots on our badges if we get the vaccine so we know who has gotten it?
Yeah, that's a interesting question.
It
And a
is.
hard one too.
It
'cause,
is.
Yeah, there's a part of me that wants everybody to know who's gotten it. There's a part of me that doesn't want to necessarily shame or put people at a disadvantage who didn't get it, and especially
And
for the
maybe
ones that
can't
didn't
get
get
it.
it and can't get
Right.
it.
Because
we
of
don't want.
medical issues.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So we're still thinking about that one a little bit, to be honest with you.
You can always ask if you want to dine with somebody.
Yes,
that is what we're telling.
absolutely.
And honestly, 98% of our residents are getting it.
Right.
So, I think it's an easy question
I
to
do,
ask
I do
somebody
too.
at that point.
Yep. And it's really important to know that you got it.
Mm-hmm.
If you've protected yourself,
Well, that's right.
that's really the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, actually, if you come across somebody that, if we did the dot thing and you come across
Right,
somebody that doesn't have the dot, you're really more of a
Risk to them.
risk to them than they are to you at that point.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yep.
our understanding is, but we don't know this exactly
Mm-hmm.
yet, but our understanding is even after you get the vaccine, even at full immunization, you can still get COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the idea behind it is it's supposed to protect you from getting it to begin with.
Right,
But
right.
even if you get it, it would be less severe if you do get it. And that's what we want, right? That's what we're looking for, so.
Okay, can you get the COVID virus after you get the first vaccine, or are you fully immunized?
Immunized.
That last one was right, I
Immunized.
think.
And the answer is yes, you can still get it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I just kind of answered that question.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we have Scotiaville's had their vaccine clinic last Thursday, and they have 2 residents that got the vaccine who are COVID positive now. They were COVID positive. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. We had 2 that were COVID positive, and they just tested positive for getting. So even after getting the vaccine, it takes a while to build up that immunity before you can really kind of stave that off. So, it was less than a week, and they still were able
So
to.
what's important about that is we don't let our guard down. After we get the first shot,
Right.
do not stop doing everything. We still have to wear masks. social distancing, all those kind of things. I mean, we still are going to follow same protocols after the first one. Because we're not fully taken care of yet at that point.
Yeah.
So I think that's the important message from this is don't let your guard down after the first one. It's a two-step process.
It is.
So don't forget that.
Right.
Very important. Okay, let's see. Will we get a statement or a card telling us that we have received the vaccine?
The answer is yes.
Yep.
You're going to be getting a card from CVS. This is our understanding, is that CVS has pre-printed cards that they're going to give you, which will give you some of the information about the immunization that you've got. And I think we're also told that on this particular card, you're going to get an appointment date for the next one. So, so we'll see if that's the case. Again, this is one of those things. This is what we are hearing. We won't know until we actually get there, but this is what we're hearing. And I think we're going to maybe take it a step further, right? Because you all are going to be having to keep your card and bring it with you for the second clinic.
Right.
So we might help you with that. What I mean by that is we might take a photocopy of that when you get into this room so that we have a record of it. And just in case you were to lose your card,
and you need to
then we have some sort of backup then that way. So I think we're planning on doing that. Yeah, just as a help for residents.
Yep. Okay, what if my housekeeper doesn't get the vaccine? Should I be worried? I'm going to get the vaccine, so they know they're covered, but should they worry if a housekeeper isn't getting it?
Yeah, so, I think there's a couple things to be said there. First of all, you're not supposed to be having any contact with the housekeeper. You're not supposed to be in your apartment or cottage when they're coming through. I think we landed on they could be in one room and stay in one room. We wouldn't clean that room. So you're not really having any contact with the housekeeper. So there's no way that there could be anything happen there if you don't have contact with that person. And the second part of it is the vaccine you're getting should provide you a lot of protection against anybody that you come into contact with who has or hasn't had the vaccine. So, the important thing here is you're getting the vaccine to protect yourself. If we have staff members or other residents or family and all others who haven't had a chance to get the vaccine or don't want to get it for whatever reason or can't get it, they're the ones that are really at risk at that point. It's kind of reverse of the masks. The mask thing, you kind of wore the mask to protect the people around you, right?
Right, that's true.
And the mask provided you some protection, but not a ton. Now it's going to be almost reversed now. You get the vaccine, you're going to be the one protected. You're taking care of yourself. And it's the ones that are...
It's not really helping that other person.
It's not really helping. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
So.
Okay. Since positive cases are higher, are we going to close the dining venues?
Yeah, I think this is a good question and probably a fair question. We are more open to this than the other communities. I mentioned this earlier today. And my feeling is, no, I don't think we should close the dining rooms. Honestly, if you have concerns about eating with other people, don't eat with them. And that's okay. If because it's a little bit more rampant outside of River Landing than maybe necessarily what it is in here, and you want to just go by yourself to eat or go with your husband or wife and eat, go eat. I don't think we should just take the dining room option out of play just because of that. We know what it was like the first 2 months when we had the dining rooms closed here. I would prefer not to do that.
Right.
I'd like to have residents to have that option.
Have some kind of choice.
Some kind of choice. And I think that's helped us to kind of keep some normalcy here. Because if we close the dining rooms, honestly, right now, I don't know when we'd be able to open them again if we did that. So, and the governor may do something with that down the road. So let's keep them open at this point. But this is where it gets important. The screening, if you're going to eat with other residents, screen them. Make sure that they're not been out visiting relatives during the Christmas holidays and maybe not told us. You need, don't just assume. You need, and residents, you shouldn't be taking offense by other residents asking you these questions. They're trying to protect you and them. I mean, you should all be asking these questions of each other. So no, at this point, I don't think we're going to take that away. I'd rather not do that.
And if you are someone that doesn't feel comfortable going to a dining venue, all of our areas you can order from.
You can.
So, about a month ago, we added the clubhouse. Now you can order from. So really, if you don't feel comfortable, you do have options.
That's right. Whew, Lisa, I'm exhausted. I'm ready to turn it over to Ken. What do you think?
Do you have a lot, Ken?
No, I have as much as we need in 6 minutes. Not even 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Ken, you got 6 minutes,
Yeah,
my
my friend Alan Campbell sends me these little funnies.
Oh, okay.
Have a couple I'll share today.
Oh, super. Thank you, Alan.
So one of them said, Hugh Hefner became a multimillionaire by staying home in his pajamas. So far, I'm not having the same result.
That's good.
I can't believe I forgot to go to the gym again today. It's 17 years in a row. So a fellow got pulled over by a cop, and the cop comes up to the window and says, you're going pretty fast. And the guy says, well, I was just trying to stay with the flow of traffic. And the cop says, there isn't any. He goes, you see how far behind I am?
That's pretty clever.
I like that
I'm going to
one.
try that.
I like that one.
Yep.
You might get a laugh out of the cop, even if they
Yeah,
just
right,
write a
right,
ticket.
You just might.
Someone wrote in and said, I just ordered a life alert bracelet so that if I ever get a life, I'll be notified immediately. But this is my favorite, and we'll end with this one. I recently bought a toilet brush. Long story short, I'm going back to toilet paper.
That sounds
bad,
rough.
Ken.
It does sound rough, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to give this popcorn away. Is that what we're gonna do now?
Well, first, let's do birthdays.
Oh, birthdays.
Okay, let's get through the birthdays.
Yeah, let's do birthdays.
Okay.
Okay.
Birthdays this past weekend, we had Carol Kelly, George Schaefer, Judy Hare, Thomas Talbot. Monday, we had Bob Hoosier, Roger Lehman, Delane Ruth, Alice Schick. Tuesday, we had Kay Bringle, Joanne Nunley, Norma Tutterow. And today, we have Palmer Shelburne and Bernice de Braga. On Thursday, we have Hob LeBlanc and Fred Horner. And on Saturday, we have Kirby Broughton and Joan Kevorkian.
Wow, that's a lot of birthdays.
It's a lot of birthdays.
Yeah.
Yep. I had to make up from y'all last week.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, I didn't have any into January, so
Oh, we
I
didn't
had
have
to
the
make up.
January ones.
Yeah,
No,
we didn't
you're
have
right.
January yet.
That's
so
true. We only had it through December 31st.
I had to do some makeups.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Birthdays this past weekend for staff. Jacob Gibson, public safety. He's the one you usually see up at the gatehouse.
Hey, he turned 21, he said.
21.
Yeah.
Yep. Monday, Greg Curley in the Golf and Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, Kate Halstead in nursing. Donna in EVS.
Yeah, Donna.
And today we have Chauncey Brown in dining. So make sure to say happy birthday to Chauncey today.
Yeah.
Thursday, so tomorrow, we have 3 in EVS. Cynthia Gilmore, Adrian Gomez, and Mary Snow. And then Sunday, we have Darlene White in nursing.
Yeah. Good folks.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to all of you, residents and staff alike.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Okay, Ken, now we're to the trivia.
Oh, good.
Are you ready? Okay, let me double check. I know we have an
Butter
answer.
toffee.
Oh, whoever wins might have to share it with Ken. Okay, so the question was, what is the name of the manufacturer of the vaccine we are receiving at River Landing? The answer was Moderna.
right.
Yes.
Woohoo!
At least the last we heard it was.
Now, Friday, we might tell you something
They might
different.
tell us something different.
You never know. Okay, so the winner today is Barbara Curran. Very cool.
She's going to be waiting outside the door.
She might be.
Yep.
Come on, Barbara. Come on down.
Well, she's probably already out there.
She wouldn't leave the show, Tom.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
She would have to wait to hear us announce that she's the winner, I'm sure.
Okay.
And she's also on the resident council as well.
Yes, she is.
So that's
Yeah.
very cool. Very fitting today.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, next week, we have the vaccine clinic Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and River Churns will be Thursday, so that way we'll be able to do a follow-up from the week.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have a very successful week.
Yes.
Yeah, and
So that's
and
what we're
Lisa,
looking forward to.
I would be remiss if I didn't point out that my desk items are growing.
They're growing.
My secret admirer keeps leaving me packages. Look at these
You mean
cute
they're
little.
getting larger or they're growing?
Yes,
in number?
well, but
Okay.
yes, and yes.
They're
Look,
multiplying.
aren't these cute?
The pigs are multiplying.
Yes, they are. Oh, look, with the flowers. And then, this is how it got bigger.
That's a
so
blinker there.
that looks like
Michelle, look at, she's going to zoom in. Okay, take a look at the extra pigs. Look at that.
I don't know if I can hold that up in a way that people can see
That was
it.
a big one, Tom.
Yeah.
If you wrap
It
that
looks
one,
very realistic.
if you wrap those up, they'd be piggies in a blanket.
Yeah, please go back.
That was pretty. That was pretty good, Ken.
So,
Pigs in a
Piggies
blanket.
in a blanket, yeah.
see, this is why we have you on the show, okay? You're quick on your feet, buddy.
Oh
You
my
really are. You're
gosh.
quick on your feet. So,
I think someone needs to tell us who it is. Don't you?
think so?
Well,
Oh, it might take the fun out of it.
would it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the mystery gift. giver.
Mystery.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you to whoever it is.
Maybe what we'll do is when we get to that glorious last show,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's
we'll
when we can do
reveal
a great
who it is,
reveal.
right?
And they need to be our guest.
They're having gender reveal parties now. We could have a pig reveal
A
party.
pig reveal party.
I don't
think-
know.
How about a gift reveal party? I don't know if pig reveal party sounds very
Well, that's
good.
true. I like that. But maybe they should make an appearance on that last show.
Maybe
It'd be a
so.
great time to ham it up.
See, he can just keep going. Just keep going, Ken.
I love it. That's good.
Oh. Will there ever be a last show, Tom? Do you think?
Lisa, I think our audience would say,
They're
I
go-
hope so.
What
Please.
hundreds of people just fell to their knees. Please let there be a last show.
Please let this vaccine clinic be the answer to get them off the air.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, they're going to miss us when we're gone.
They sure are. But then maybe they can see us in person.
Oh, well.
Right now, it's kind of lonely.
Yeah,
It's kind of lonely.
yeah.
We're used to having an audience for things.
Not anymore.
Not
I'll be
anymore.
honest with you. It's kind of funny.
You've gotten
We've been
used to
doing this for
this?
10 months now. I've almost kind of forgotten what it feels like to have an audience full, a room full of people anymore.
Right.
It's really, isn't that sad, kind of in a way? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of
is.
gotten used to that. I mean, you feel that way? I assume you probably feel that way, right?
I wouldn't assume that we would have a room full of people.
Well, no. I wasn't talking about for the show anyway. I was just talking about
But in general,
Right,
in
yes,
general,
In general.
Theoretically.
when we have fun things,
Yes.
and we have real entertainment.
We know how to promote a show, don't we?
We do. With popcorn
With popcorn, ginger,
and wine.
lots of wine.
Well,
Yeah.
another good show. And we somehow managed to get all that done in an hour. Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
Pretty good.
You're
You
welcome.
kept us on track.
Yes.
Yeah, you did. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. Well, the next time we come to you, we're hoping
We're going to all have our stickers on.
we're all going to have our stickers on, right?
Yep.
So, and that we'll all have a chance
Very
to be
excited.
the knowledge of knowing that we've all gotten our vaccines, at least to start, have started this process, I think is going to be a huge deal. So,
Absolutely.
and it's been fun. I have to admit, I've been passing some residents in the hallway with their forms, and they're like, "We got our form, we got." And then today it was, "We know when we're coming." So it's been really fun to be able to see residents get excited about.
Yeah. Yeah.
How often do you get excited about getting a shot?
I
mean,
know,
I don't
you're
get this
right.
excited about getting a shot usually. So it's,
Yeah,
but it's
but
I
a
think
big
it's going to feel like waiting in line at Disney World. You know how you have to
It
wait like
might.
all this time and then you finally get to the ride?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great analogy. Yes.
How do I get a fast pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I think we got the fast pass because we're so early in this process.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
We
that's
all
one way
got
to look
fast
at it.
passes.
We're all got fast passes. So, anyway, okay.
That's true.
Well, let us know if you got any questions. If you have any exceptions to the schedule, make sure you reach out
Call
to
me.
Lisa.
Call me.
If you just got questions in general, please keep sending them. Appreciate the questions that we got today
Yep.
and the feedback from today. And just know we love you all, and we're very excited about the fact that we as a community are going to be doing this together next week. And this is a big step, I think, for us. And I'm just hoping and praying that this is going to really help us not just keep it out of here, but eradicate this from our country and from our world at this point. Because it's scary to think otherwise if it's not. So, all right, y'all. Love you. Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.